Hello, I'm Jana from Sydney Visa. Today we're going to talk about the main stages of the Australian Skill Migration Program and most importantly the sequence of the stages. Our years of migration practice demonstrate that many of the visa candidates, even those who are already our clients, often misinterpret the sequence and misunderstands the essence of each stage of the skill migration program. To understand the stages of migration program means to understand that it offers little predictability. That's why today we're going back to the basics and discuss the skill migration program and what it's based on. Regardless of where you are in your immigration journey, I recommend that you watch this video till the end. Okay, so the stages of migration program, specifically skill migration program. So stage 0, it should start with the planning of your immigration process. Whether you are going through the process solo or with an immigration agent, it is advisable that you take an initial consultation from an experienced agent, ideally within Australia. Many immigration agents within Australia offer the initial consultation for free, so take advantage of it. How to communicate with us or any other legal advisor and how to ask questions regarding immigration. Well, any visa, whether it is immigration visa or tourist visa, is a personal affair. Therefore, information about your personal information and situation must be supplied. To supply this information, we ask our clients to follow a procedure. So our procedure is to fill a detailed questionnaire, which also serves as an initial point test calculator. I will leave the link to our questionnaire in the description to this video. In the questionnaire, you're presented with a range of questions, and they all are to be answered in great detail. The more information you provide, the more detailed assessment we're able to provide to you. And please remember, the questionnaire is not a test. If you choose to call us, please also start with the description of your situation, followed by the question. You may call us anytime between 9 AM and 9 PM Sydney time, and no prior arrangements are necessary. Please remember that we are not interested in your nationality or country or residency. However, what we need to know is what is your occupation, the level of English, and your age. This is a great start to your immigration inquiry. For example, receiving a naive inquiry along the lines of "I'm from Serbia, I have 2 children, how can I come to Australia?" makes it nearly impossible to deal with, and we often have to ignore it. Whether you are from Serbia, US or Uganda, the applicable immigration laws are generally the same. So, what are the main stages of the skill migration? So first stage is selecting an occupation for migration, visa eligibility assessment, the strategy and migration program development. So migration strategy begins with the occupation selection from the department skill occupation list. I will leave the link to this in the description. If you are already taking steps towards your immigration, however, you're still unsure about your occupation, I would like to quote for you the Chinese commander philosopher Sun Tzu. Strategy without tactic is the longest path to victory, and tactic without strategy is the vanity before defeat. An occupation for immigration purpose has no connection with what you will be doing upon your relocation to Australia. You're free to work wherever you want once you receive the visa. But you should select your occupation also based not on your job title, but purely on what you're doing, the task that you're performing in your current job. This is why during our assessment we require detailed information about the duties performed by you in each of your position held. We also need exact dates when you are occupying these positions and detailed information about your education and qualifications. The education, however, is a secondary factor. The prime factor is your experience. So based on your experience, we will determine your field of expertise and your occupation. The second stage is the skilled assessment for immigration purpose by Australian Skill Assessing Authority. This is the fundamental stage of your immigration program. In the department skill occupation list, each occupation has a relevant assessing authority next to it with the link to that authority. For example, CSS assesses IT personnel, TRA deals with most of the trade occupation, and VetAssess evaluates bookkeepers, dancers, economists, administrators, and so on. Alongside that, there are more than 10 other organizations involved in this process. Now, in our channel, we have a video that talks about general what is a skill qualification for migration purposes, so please watch that. After you have acquired a positive skill assessment and English certificate, your next step is the expression of interest in SkillSelect, or what we call EOL. There are quite few nuances to reasons for EOL, sort of why the reasons has been introduced, but the main idea is reducing the system is to protect the department from the unauthorized and solicited immigration applications. So during the expression of interest, the system calculates your point score, which is the minimum of 65, and then essentially you wait. You cannot apply for Australian visa until you receive an application from within that system to apply for the visa. For applicants for an independent visa 189, such an invitation is generated by a robot based on several parameters, including the established occupation ceiling limit for particular occupation, the results of your point tests, and the date of your registration of interest. The more popular profession, the higher the competition, and as a consequence, the longer will be the wait time for the invitation. The waiting period ranges from 1 day to never. For example, the highest competition currently is among accountants, and it has been for a while, and they may not receive an invitation with the point scores as high as 80. So I think the current invitation rounds seeing about the point score of about 95. But on the other hand, the engineer with the minimum score of 65 may wait for an invitation for about a year. But as soon as he increases his score to 70 or 75, he can get the invitation much faster. The solution in such a situation where you are waiting for an invitation and not receiving it is the nomination of the state or territory, which can lead to an invitation for the visa application much quicker. So the stage 4 in your skilled migration process is the nomination. This is the least predictable stage of the immigration process, immigration program. This is due to the fact that the list of state nominated occupations, as well as the nomination policies of the states, change quite significantly and change quite regularly. And this is exactly why the most common mistake of a lot of visa candidates is to make the decision to commence or not to commence the immigration program based on occupation lists of different states. It only makes sense to embark on a nomination search process only when you're completely ready. And completely ready means that you have a positive skill assessment, you have your IELTS certificate of minimum of all 6s or higher, you have your point score test that has a minimum 65 points, and you are registered in SkillSelect. At times, even if your occupation is on a list of eligible occupations, you might not be eligible because you do not qualify by other states' criteria. And it's also possible that your occupation is not on the list, however, the state policy is such that you may still apply for nomination and hope for the best. As was mentioned previously, being nominated means the automatic and instant invitation by the department to apply for a visa. The last stage of your nomination path is visa application. This is by far the most pleasant stage of your immigration program. If the outcome of your skill visa assessment and the search for nomination is not always predictable, the outcome of the visa application most of the time is 100% certain. Processing times, however, vary. They vary greatly. From our experience, it might be anywhere between 3 days to 3 years. The most common period is between 6 to 12 months. At this stage, our main advice to our clients is not to make any assumptions as to the processing times, because you most certainly will get it wrong. The department does not have any obligation concerning the processing times, and no immigration law in Australia can speed it up or in any way influence this process. In conclusion, I would like to repeat the sequence of the skill migration stages. So first is your selection of your occupation, then it's a skilled assessment, expression of interest, nomination, and then visa application. This is all for now. Please subscribe to our channel, like and comment the video, and share it with your friends. Cheers from Down Under.